Radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
This is Ann Marie, and thanks a lot for joining today. It is the 7th of October. Can you believe it? I have come back from the Renaissance Fair, and I have attached about a bolt of white gauze on every post, lamp post, and planting trellis to give it the impression of blowing spirits on my studio. And the gauze, I think, is a better kind of a better material to use if you're trying to give it that floaty, just with the slightest breeze, that sense of spirits in your yard. Today I wanted to talk about a few things. One of them was about 3 natural ways to whiten your angel smile, which might surprise you that they've been doing this since probably the Egyptian days. The other thing was I wanted to also talk about the signs and symbols. How do you access into the signs and symbols around you? I know there are many of you out there that are especially developing their intuitive powers and their natural intuitive abilities. So, maybe we can discuss today understanding some of those symbols that you're seeing, feeling through dreams and around you. And I know we do have a caller on today that would want to talk about that. She's come for 2 different shows, so we will get to her also. First, I have to do as my good friend Karen, Karen Hager says, a little selfish self-promotion. I am Ann Marie, and I am from the Midwest. And I offer you a ticket to a very relaxed session with coffee, tarot, and clarity. Now, probably like many, you're starting to feel a little unsettled with the summer coming to an end. Maybe you made plans. Maybe some of them happened. Maybe some of them didn't. But oh well, that's all right. So if you're wondering what your journey is ahead in love, career, creativity, family, or you just need to touch base with your angels, give me a call, because I have over 37 years reading experience. I'm listed with Best Psychics Directory, Jennifer Diamond's Top 50 Psychics, Keen, and of course Achieve Radio. So you'll also find me on Angie's list as a life coach. So today we're going to give you clarity with some free readings, either through InQuick or through calling 602-666-6027. And I will answer your InQuick messages, as well as I hope that you will take the time. I love reading on the energy I feel from voices, and I will treat you like a friend. How do you know if a psychic is accurate? Well, that's a really good question because there's a million of them out there. But I always say that a good psychic should be able to focus, and I'm talking about psychics, not astrologers, but a psychic should be able to just focus in on the sound of your voice, or your energy, on if it's in a personal session. That would be more maybe scent, or maybe the feel of you. If you are like me, reading on the radio, I'm very in tune to the sound of people's voices. So, by giving me your first name to begin your reading, you will receive information on what is happening in the now of your life first. Why is that important? Because instead of diving into a reading on unproven information, which anyone can do, including your best friend next door, why not get a reading first on what you know is true in your life? And I say that because it's the best test for psychic readings there is. And, it makes sense that if I can hit it on what's going on in the now of your life, well, then you can probably have more hope and more faith that I can read on the rest of your life as well. I have over about 27,000 client feedbacks in an accumulation of all of the different places that I have read for. And as well as I'm a published author of tarot gardening. And tarot is my forte. I love tarot. So today, again, the number to call in for a reading is 602 666 6027. I am going to go into, first of all, I'm going to go into the room here, and I'm just a minute here. I was on top of all my material, except I didn't get into my studio so I can see what's going on there and have access to all kinds of wonderful music, and you in your in Quicks. Okay, wrong one. So, again, one of the things that we wanted to talk about is, you know, symbols and signs are all around us. The fact that we may not necessarily know how to read them is only because we're thinking too analytically. And if you would really take time to understand that it's no different than waking up from a dream and going, well, what was that all about? It's just absolutely wonderful how, if you really, maybe you didn't even remember your dreams. And then suddenly in the middle of your workday or a shower, it suddenly hits you what message that your guides and angels may have been delivering to you. Or maybe you were having a telepathic connection with somebody you love. No matter what it is that you were focusing on, symbols and signs are part of this world, and they are around you through every little thing, from the color of paint on the wall that you're suddenly focusing on to a bird in flight. It's just all around you, and we will talk about that a little more in detail. I also want to get into the in quick here, and let's look and see who we have today. We have Susan from Massachusetts, Amber from Vermont, and I want to say hi and thank you so much for joining us. We have Deborah from Des Moines, and we have somebody from Tennessee. So we're going to start out with Deborah. Deborah, how are you today?
Really, really good. Thank you for
And
taking my call.
yes, of course. And what is it that you wanted to discuss?
Well, I guess it's what I called before, like my psychic gifts, and I guess that, and when I touch people, I get information, and I guess what I want to talk about is, let's see, how to know that this is something coming, from my angels, the information and stuff.
Okay, let's. I'm going to be honest with you right now about something that I'm a little bit different on than some people. There are some people who have specific angels, and then there are other people who, like myself, I read with my angels, but I have no names for them because I have joined them with me as I call them. I, us, I often say, we, I, and us. And there are other people that need to know that they have a specific angel that is giving them messages, and that is fine too. What matters is that you find a way to be able to access the messages that you're receiving in a comfortable and trustworthy way. Um, I do always want to say that the best way to lose intuitive uh, thoughts or intuitive flashes is to analyze what you're talking, what you're feeling. In other words, as you begin to read more and more, you'll start to notice that when you just let yourself go and you stop asking yourself, is this coming from my angel? Is this coming from God? Where is this coming from? And you just allow the message to come through. You will often find that you take the complication away from yourself and you start to trust that the messages that are coming through are well, of course they're from your angels. Of course they're from God, because. But remember, if they are of positive and laughter and joy and high frequency, those are your messages from your angels and God. If you find that they are messages that are dark and feel troubled and feel negative, those are likely your ego, or they are likely to be your analytical mind starting to doubt what your uplifted energy thoughts are. And so be very careful of negative voices. I often say, what is it that made that kid go into that school in Oregon and start shooting people? And I just can't help but think that somewhere along the way, I mean, some people say he was evil. I think that somewhere along the way, that kid interpreted that he was getting messages from the negative side that he took very seriously. And I think if he had really stopped to realize if they're negative and they're from ego or from low self-esteem, they're not from God and his angels and special light. So pay attention to where your thoughts and what frequency they're coming from. And tell me what kind of impressions and things that you get.
Okay, this weekend I'm sitting by some people, and I see like a spirit, and so I'm asking at the time, who is it for? And they're telling me who it's for, and then I guess I'm questioning, and what they told me is just to tell them that their grandma from their mother's side is just telling them hi. And so I questioned them, saying, is this something I'm to tell this person? You know. So are you telling me by just saying that that I could just tell the person, I don't have to question that? Because I'm saying, now, are you sure they're going to want to hear this? You know, I'm always coming back that way when I get information.
I do want to caution you of one thing.
Okay.
Psychic rape. One thing that I believe many people mistakenly think is that, like Teresa Caputo and all of these people that are being paid high amounts of dollars to have a TV show, to walk in a crowd and say, your grandmother is talking to you, or somebody is trying, have you got such and such and such going on? Please understand that most people do not like people coming up to them and saying things like that. Now, if there's somebody running around with a TV camera around them, and obviously they know that they're probably in a psychic TV show. And remember, many reality shows are not real at all. Many of them are scripted, and so when you see these shows with Teresa Caputo running into a place that has a bakery, or please understand that those are carefully scripted reality shows, and those people probably had to give permission before she could speak to them.
Right. Well, I said to the woman, can I tell you this? I said to her, I have a message for you if you would like to hear it. And she said, yes. So then I told her, and she said, well, that's interesting, because I was just making a pie this morning, and I was just thinking about her.
Well, that's cool. You got lucky. Not that you were not seeing and feeling that, but that you got that reaction from her.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that, yes, you absolutely need, if you feel that is a huge pat in the back and another indication you have true gift. But I would say practice on people you know. Practice, even go to, this Halloween is a great time to go into a coffee shop or something like that and say, if you're still practicing, I would not charge money. It's like massage therapists or anybody, they have to work up points before they can start to charge money. Right? So if you feel that this gift is resonating very strongly, and you're starting to feel the messages and getting acceptance from them, which is, I think that's awesome. Just remember, try to go into places where you have permission to do so, and people will come to you and want to specifically get a message.
Okay. All right.
And remember, you're not a reality TV show.
Right.
So try to stay away from crowds. I call it psychic rape. I believe that when people, and I've seen Reiki healers do this too, that just start Reiki healing. All of a sudden they'll start touching someone and thinking that somebody understands that they're healing them. And a lot of people don't accept it. A lot of people just feel that it's an intrusion. So you have a gift. Honor that gift and make sure that you go into places where you can offer your services free as you start to develop it. And say, I'm feeling this indescribable need to be able to develop this gift. Please allow me to read for you for free, and go into places and practice. And that way people can have the enjoyment of having a free reading. They're helping you to encourage your gift. And this goes for spirit or tarot or anything. Work up your experience and work up your points. And if you're getting acknowledgement that these things are resonating, oh, that's beautiful, and continue to do so.
Okay, great. Do you have any messages for me?
Sure. And I would love to. So if I look at what is it that is, coming up and resonating as your greatest spiritual essence for readings, and looking at that, your reading says today, one of them is your ability to have a positive attitude. This is the card of good fortune. The other is that you're very believable. You have a very trustworthy attitude. You're very believable. And it says that also you give I believe as you go on in life, you're going to find that the things that you invest in are things that give you a return. So this is something that no one can take away from you. No one can take away your psychic gift. And so it is absolutely wonderful that you can be able to use this and be magnetic. It says that right now, one of the things also resonating is that you can attract and magnetize, people to you. And I think that this is going to, between your trusting and believable attitude, your magnetic qualities, this is going to resonate very well for you. I also believe that you are the kind of person that will make sure that you focus on positive energies, and that is going to attract more positive spirits to you and more spiritual energy of positive frequency to you. And lastly, I see that there are many opportunities coming up for you. These opportunities are going to allow you to, practice your gift. And I would say that within another year or two, that you should be able to go more full force in, and possibly start to charge money in a way that gives you more confidence, and no one can say, oh, well, that wasn't right. Because if you're free and if you are developing your gift, no one can complain, because you're giving them a special gift, right? And then in another year from now, you can start to think about charging money.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And
all right.
Okay. So we're going to go into InQuick, and then I'll go into the unknown. Thanks, babe, and thank you for coming back.
You're welcome.
All right, we have Amber from Vermont, and she says, I am interested in knowing what the numbers 333 mean. I have been seeing them over the last 10 years, and I wish I knew what they mean. Well, I guess all I can do is, first of all, give you an energy reading on why you're getting so many, threes. And I'm looking really quickly right now on the internet, just first of all, because I'm curious. I'm not somebody that remembers a lot about number 3 numerology. The number 3 symbolizes the principles of growth. When initiating force of 1 unities with a germinating energy of 2, the fruitfulness of the growth and the initiation and uniting them to germinate creates the fruitfulness of 3. Now, 3 and 3 and 3, of course, is 9. And if we look at what is numerology 9 meaning, and you guys can look in this with me if you want before I start to give you a reading. Numerology of three threes in a row, of course, are 9. And this says that let me see. Numerology meaning of number 9. I'm looking at that really quickly. And it says, hold on here just a second. It says, we've got 8. And this 9 must be. Well, I think what I'll do is just first of all look at why is it you most likely have some of the following strengths and talents at your disposal if the number 9 appears in your numerology chart. Well, 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. It says you are socially conscious, concerned about the betterment of the world, idealistic, a visionary, tolerant, imaginative and creative, compassionate, romantic, selfless and generous. And you are also giving sharing, loving, caring, noble and aristocratic qualities. So if you are going to add the three threes together of 9, those are the qualities of growth that could be coming up. Now, if I look at your specific reading, why are you getting so many threes these days? And see if there's another greater angel reading on that. The first thing it says is that the universe is open to you. And that says the universe will show you the right path to take to reach your goals. The next thing it says is that you are extremely intuitive, and your intuitive guides are leading you to people, places, and jobs that will add to your creative journey in the coming years. So many of these threes are also about growth, but also leading you to those people, places, and things that will give you success. It says also your angels are saying that your threes are to tell you that you are flexible and adaptable to change while you pursue your goals. So the threes are also indicating that whenever you get them, you are running into a situation where you need to stay open-minded and allow your conscious and subconscious to absorb the experience for self-growth. And then what do? You relax. You choose to relax and not fill your mind with worry or that creates stress. So as you start to fulfill your journey with all these threes that are helping you to evolve and absorb your experiences and learn from them so that you can be led to your future happiness, you will become increasingly aware that as you focus on the positive energies of these threes, that you will attract more and more of that positive energy. So just as your number 9, which indicated that you have many strengths and talents, being visionary and tolerant and bettering the world, it would seem to me that you have a higher purpose in this world. And those threes are leading you to a wonderful journey. And I would say embrace it and continue to see those threes as when you get them, know that that is an impactful situation that you are specifically supposed to absorb. And it's all leading you to a higher purpose. And that's what I see. All right. So if we go into Susan, let's go into the other reading in Tennessee. Hello. How are you today?
Hello?
Hi. What's your first name?
Hi. Lena?
Hi, Lena. What can I do for you? Haven't heard you from you a little bit. What's going on in Lena's life?
Uh, well, I'm currently in a rock and a hard place at the job, and I just wanted to see what the cards say about that.
Can you please tell me what the name of this job is, Lena?
I could tell you the how it starts with. It starts with M and S.
Thank you. MF. So if I look at your job at MF, and first of all, look at how you are perceived at your job at MF, may I do that first?
Sure.
Okay. So many people have seen you as very motivated, especially at first. But I'm shown that there began to be some trust issues, Lena. And it says that for whatever reason, some people, maybe that you're around, you're not trusting. And there's a feeling that that kind of, if you focus on those people that you're not trusting, what it'll do is take away your focus from the positive aspects of this job and the growth that you could have with it, and instead will focus you in the negative. So I see that you have growth in this job as long as you don't focus on the bad politics of others that may be jealous of you or may be giving you a hard time. I think that you're well respected. And if I look at, is there anything else that needs to be said? And it says the most important thing that you can do is throw back your hair or wear a hat with a fan on and let a scarf blow behind you. Increase your attitude of self-confidence and refuse to allow people that will not be grateful to bring your self-esteem down. Because in the long run, you're better off detaching from them. You don't need them, and they don't necessarily need to influence you one bit. All that matters is that you do the best job you can and impress higher management. Okay?
Alrighty, Sam. Is that the reading that you got from my saying my name?
No, from the job initials that you gave me.
And what do the angel cards say about that?
What does
We
what?
get a reading on. What does your card say about that? Like a general reading, like angel card.
Oh, okay. So are you asking for an general reading or are you asking for an angel message reading?
Whichever one works.
They're two totally different readings. They're two totally different readings. So if I look at your something that comes up as a general reading and say the initials of your job again.
MS.
Okay, thank you. So when I look at your job at MF, the first thing that comes up is that at this time you are respected and that people do see you as somebody that is has promise. I'm also shown, and I don't know who this is, there seems to be a male at this job. I don't know whether this person is in higher management or somebody that you work with who seems to be supportive of you in the future. For whatever reason, I'm shown that what you're in right now at this job is something you're having some doubts about. I'm shown that part of you wants to stay and part of you wants to go. I'm also shown that in the past, you're a happy spirit. You like to be able to have fun, and that includes your work. So if you can have fun at your job, it makes everything so much better, and you will give everything you've got to that job if you can be around someone that lightens your load and helps you to have fun. The last thing I see, though, is that you may not be happy with the amount of money that you're making. And I'm showing that part of you wishes that you could be able to have a raise or make a little more money. One of the things you fear, and I don't know why this is, I don't know if there's a mega bitch around you or somebody that seems to be giving you a hard time, but it says that there seems to be a female presence that is around you that is not making life as pleasant as you would like. And it can be very confusing because all you want is to be able to be appreciated and have the gratitude that you deserve because you're doing the best you can. But the future shows that if you're waiting for this person to be grateful or to calm their energy around you, you're probably going to not have that. So my sense is that this is strictly up to you. You can rise above all of the political bullcrap. If you can make it fun for yourself or for another person or two at the job, you should be able to rise above anybody else that causes you some insecurities by refusing to feed into their game. And my feeling is that you're not necessarily completely happy with this job. There's a feeling that watch out for 5 months from now, that would be October, November, December, about February 2016, when I see either you will be moving on to a different job or a different department of this job. And maybe because there are some people that are not, or a person that is not necessarily fun to be around, or it could be just that you want to make more money. And that's what comes through.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. The place that I'm working at, I'm like working 12 hours, including commuting. That's another 3 hours. I'm working like 15 hours a day. And it's like totally going into my relationship, and I'm not making as much as I should be making, as I think. But that answers a lot of questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And remember, if you want more information on your job, you can always come for a personal reading by scheduling a reading at thecallingoflight.com. Okay?
Alrighty. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we have Susan from Massachusetts, and she said she would like a reading about finances for the rest of this year. I will be glad to do that. And then I do want to finish the show by speaking on a few things that I had wanted to discuss for material here today. And looking at Susan for a financial prediction for the next 5 months. Look for October to be a month where you may decide that you want to choose between a different position or a different job, or that you may want to choose a different, and I don't know what it is. It says choosing between two people or two life situations. So that could be an emotional situation, compounded by a work situation. It shows that for whatever reason, you're not making the kind of money you want, and it shows October deciding whether you want to stay with the circumstances you are so that you can make more money, because if you don't in November, it shows that you will still not be happy with the amount of money you make, and that December shows you making a final decision that you're going to do something about this, which uplifts your finances in January and February. So I'm going to say that if you're questioning whether you need to move on to a different job or a different department, I'm going to say yes, please do. If you're looking at feeling unhappy about your present work situation, and I'm going to acknowledge that I see that you could do better. And I do feel a window of opportunity is open for you, but that window seems to be best in December and January, and that's what comes through. Okay? All right. So we're going to continue down, and we have more in the In Quick room. We have Brenda from Ohio, and she says, I have been applying for new work and would like to know if you have some insight to employment for me this year. I really don't, because you have not given me the name of any jobs for me to read on that you have applied for, Brenda. The main thing I see is that, as you know, if you've been listening, I read on the name of jobs or the name of people. But if you just ask me for a general reading on work without giving me anything to read on specifically, all I can tell you is this. It says you need to be patient, that it does not show you necessarily taking action to find work specifically different than the position you're in now. In other words, if you're not working or if you are working, I don't see you making any changes for quite a while. I don't show it until almost the first of the new year. So my feeling is that if you want to make this happen faster, you're going to need to step up your interview process. And please do come back with some interview or some options for me to read on that looks good for you. And if you can think of those right now, then go ahead and in quick some places for me to read on for you. Otherwise, I'm feeling that you're not necessarily stepping this up as much as you should. It's a great thought, but you need action. Sunny says, can you see when I will be able to find my own place? Well, Sunny, if I look at when does an opportunity for moving into your right place, it says, what's wrong with right now? Because what's coming up is that how much are you willing to go with the flow? Or will you stop and analyze this until you wait another month and another month and another month? When will you be able to find your own place? Look now. I show you could make it happen right now or next month, Sonny. Just remember, it's all about your attitude. And of course, it's about money. But remember, where there's a will, there's a way. And I see that money is coming to you in November. And I feel that November is a great time for you to start to constructively spend that money on a place to stay. But as far as when will you find a place, why not right now? You can make these steps right now. So don't put it off too much longer. All right. So I'm going to go into our material, signs and symbols. Information comes to us in so many ways, and some very subtle, as in symbols. Many psychics are especially skilled at noticing and interpreting these gentle signals that appear in our lives. To be efficient and proficient in our work, we must also develop a broad understanding of the meaning of a great many signs, symbols, and a myriad of signs and symbols guide and direct our choices in everyday life. Whether we realize it or not, signs and symbols, even maybe some of the archetypes, are one of the key ways that we are civilized or conditioned to behave according to our community's morals. So, how are we looking at these? Many of the signs and symbols that we look at, here's one example. My grandmother has always had very vivid dreams all of her life. For her, rolling green fields always brings news of a death to this family. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, right? She is rarely given to know who it is. Just through the rolling green fields, she is given to know that someone will soon be passing over. It has not failed, and even once in her 80 years plus, not even in those years. Well, let's talk about signs. Signs are usually, but not always, gentle and rarely invasive. But Their very nature means that they demand a response or a suggestion to change our course. This is where our intuitive intelligence is most effective in understanding how to apply the message we're getting or the meaning in a sign. Like the events of 911 was a global sign, and many times it was represented by the tower and tarot, showing the entire world that it was time to change our ways. Sadly, despite the fact that this date has already been etched in most of our minds and hearts, we seem to yet understand or to act on the true meaning of the signs of this incredible sacrifice that people made in 911 and the tower that it represents in tarot. Like true meanings of many signs, they don't become really obvious until we have a point of distance and time behind us. And it's also true that we can instantly know often the meaning of such a large sign as 911, but feel quite unable to determine an appropriate course of action, of course. So, an example, many people were able to instantly understand the magnitude of change that strikes us in 911 and what it implied, but we had no idea what to do about it. Symbols like numbers, like tarot, have become a language of their own. And please don't forget, the alphabet is symbols. And what do we do when we put the symbols of tarot together? We read. And what do we put? We read and create entire visions in our mind. And that's what symbols in tarot do as well. Or the symbols that we see in our mind as we are perhaps blessed with the prophecies that have signs bring it to us. So, for many, many years, the high priestess and priests, the oracles of communities, interpreted the signs as they manifested them. In the earliest days of our civilization, this was also the people of wisdom. And I have to say, and I always have felt, Jesus was one of the greatest psychics that we had, or intuitives. He saw his own death coming. So we have many signs and symbols around us. And as 911 happened, or the green fields that somebody's grandmother saw, they're not always powerful. There can be very small little symbols. Write them down in a journal. Journal your symbols. Journal the things you notice. And here's a little meditation for you. When you want to know, what do my angels need me to know? Close your eyes and say, what do my angels need me to know? Internalize it. And then at the count of 3, open your eyes, 1, 2, and 3. And what is the first thing that your eyes land on? Now you're going to have your journal in front of you. The first thing that you're going to do is remember that before you do this exercise, it's always good to have a question like, what is my best course of action for my day? Or what should I focus on as I'm trying to find a job? Or whatever. Or how does my boyfriend feel about me or girlfriend feel about me? We're giving you the ability to read symbols and signs. So you're going to, for instance, you may open your eyes and see a vase in front of you with a beautiful rounded shape. And in that vase that is, let's say, the color of green, and it says the beautiful flowing shape of this vase, and flow is a big word, maybe saying go with the flow. Let's say there's a beautiful feather that's coming in that vase, or flowers. Go with the flow and concentrate on the beauty of what's in front of you may be one way to interpret a vase of flowers. Or let's say your eyes landed on a blank wall, but what color was that wall? Was it white? Okay, well, that may indicate keep your mind pure. Empty your mind. Or maybe it was the color of blue. Get more exercise. Get out in the blue sky. Take a walk today. Exercise underneath the blue sky. There are many, many messages. And if you write down what hits you, the shape of something, what does that shape mean? The color of something, what does that shape or color mean to you? The picture that you landed on, what was in that picture? What does that picture say to you? Write this all down in your intuitive journal. And in time, you will start to notice a pattern of what your symbols are trying to tell you. All right? So that is for us on the journey of intuitive symbols. Now, I want to discuss the three, this is how to naturally whiten your teeth so you can have your angel smile when you're at Walmart or any place that you want to share positive energy. We are embarrassed by our stained teeth, whether it's because of coffee or foods that we eat. And people have been trying to whiten their teeth since the beginning of time. It's a beautiful white smile has been sexy forever. The fact that so many people worry about the look of their stained teeth is the reason why the teeth whitening industry has exploded in recent years. You can go to the dentist to get your teeth whitened professionally, or you can find boutique shops that specialize in nothing but teeth whitening, or you can buy over-the-counter teeth whitening kits. And while all these options may work, they can be extremely expensive and potentially hazardous to our health. So, what is one way? Hydrogen peroxide and baking soda for teeth whitening. It's a time-tested combination for popular natural teeth whitening. And what you do is to mix just enough liquid of the peroxide and enough baking soda to make it gritty. And while your goal is to remove the stains from food, beverages, and or smoking, you don't want to strip the enamel off your teeth in the process. So make sure your baking soda and hydrogen peroxide mixture isn't gritty simply by adding in more hydrogen peroxide. So make sure it's a nice watery mixture. So when you've got your mixture ready, simply brush your teeth with the peroxide and baking soda. And you can use it as a mouth rinse, swishing it around your mouth and between your teeth for a good soak before you brush your teeth. So you're letting the peroxide and baking soda soak in your mouth on your teeth, and then you brush your teeth. Another one that is used since a long, long time is oil pulling for teeth whitening. And it's an ancient technique used for thousands of years, far longer than any modern teeth whitening methods. Oil pulling is a natural teeth whitening technique that not only helps remove stains from your teeth, but also helps detoxify your entire body. How does it work? First, you need to select your oil. Most people choose coconut oil or olive oil. And then you swish the oil around your mouth as vigorous and thoroughly as possible for maybe up to 20 minutes. Then you spit it out in the garbage can, not the drain. And when you're done, most people prefer to wash out that oil and freshen their mouth. And remember, most people use, and again, it's coconut oil or olive oil. Swish it for 20 minutes and then spit it in the garbage and then brush your teeth. It'll be really wonderful. Another way, and this is kind of surprising, activated charcoal. It says, the Wellness Mama says it best. This looks and sounds terrifying, but you might be surprised at the results when you're all done. Using activated charcoal, not charcoal from your barbecue grill, to whiten teeth is one of the most controversial methods, but it has been shown to be effective. Why it's effective has more to do with the properties of charcoal, because charcoal in itself is kind of like the act of pulling with the oils or brushing your teeth. Activated charcoal is a highly absorbent and porous substance that can bind to things like the tannings that stain your teeth. So to whiten your teeth with activated charcoal, simply apply some of the fine powdered activated charcoal to your toothbrush and brush your teeth as normally as you would. Bing! There goes your stains. So there's 3 ways that you can naturally have your wonderful angel smile to brighten the day of others around you. That's right. So we have 1 minute and 11 seconds. Again, I do want to say to come back next week. I'll have a guest on for us. And I want to say that if you want to have a private session with me, please go to thecallingoflight.com and click on purchase a reading. I have readings for 15 minutes for $30 or a half hour for $60. Check it out. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, I'm Ann Marie Oct at Achieve Radio's Tarot Joy. Come on upstairs. Grab yourself a tapestried pillow and get a down-home, honest reading with 30 years Master Tarot channeling experience. In addition, I will have a weekly spiritual guest from around the world. That's 2 readings per call for you. After the show, I invite you to come on over to thecallingoflight.com. I offer PayPal readings at 15-minute or 30-minute sections of time. All yours. To thecallingoflight.com.